Hey guys, Joe here, and as you can tell by my very large bag here that I prepared a wonderful lunch for us to consume. Just kidding. This came into the store. You guys saw a little preview of it over the weekend, and I wanted to do the full video on it. First things first, thanks for coming along and subscribing to the channel. I've noticed an uptick in subscribers. That's awesome. Some of you coming over from TikTok, welcome to the YouTube side of things. It's amazing what happens when you can watch a video that's longer than 3 minutes. Pardon me, I'm a little bit out of breath. I've been moving around a lot this morning. It's very early, I'm very tired, and with my degenerative, it wears me out quickly. Some of those were words. I got this from Liberty Arms. Did not intend to get this from Liberty Arms. However, they get this stuff from time to time. It's awesome. And I said, you know what? Yes, me need this. Me want this in my life. So check them out, Liberty Arms, Google them, Harrisonburg, Virginia. They never know what's coming in, and I can't link directly to them, but if you go there, you will see stuff like this black canvas bag. That's not what's important. What's important is what is inside said black canvas bag, and that is a bunch of mags and this guy. Let me lock the bolt back. How are you? And I will show you that what we have here is an AR pistol. But is it really an AR pistol? Well, yes, it's an AR platform. However, you'll see a couple of noticeable things. No shell. Well, technically that would be a deflector, but no dust cover. Has an extended release there, which is a little bit different. And if you come over here, you'll see that it has a very small magazine port, as well as a couple of Allen screws. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But this is a Palmetto State Armory Babysnek 9. This is a 9mm AR platform pistol. As you can see, it's a pistol because it has a brace and not a buttstock. Braces are designed to be wrapped around your forearm so that you can one-hand a firearm if you have disabilities and limitations. It is legal to shoulder a brace. Before anybody wants to argue with me about that, that is an ATF ruling. That is not an assumption. It is not me speculating. That is the way it is. So you can shoulder a brace. However, do not put a vertical foregrip on one. You can run an angled foregrip. Obviously, you do not want a short barrel on a buttstock. That's an SBR. Just be safe. Follow the rules and do what Uncle Sammy is allowing you to. But this one came into the store. It was a trade-in, actually, and I needed it because, number one, it matches all my other ARs, but number two is the fact that I sold my Banshee. As you recall, I had a CMMG Banshee, chambered in 9mm. There are some major differences between a Banshee and this guy, which we'll talk about during the disassembly. But I sold that one because that was a $1,500 pistol. I didn't have $1,500 into it, and I actually sold it for more than I paid for it while keeping some of the parts. But in the interim, I have not had a 9mm long-barreled anything. So I wanted to upgrade back to that, and that's what this guy is doing. As you can see, it's got a 10.5-inch barrel with an extension on it. So it's actually probably a total of 13 inches long. That's fine by me. It's still considered a pistol, and it's short enough to fit into a smaller case or be a truck gun and all that good stuff. Being chambered in 9mm is awesome because it's the most popular caliber right now for personal protection, as well as you'll see the magazine when I show it to you. Has a really cool muzzle brake on there. As you can see how deep the barrel actually is set back there. The barrel's way back here. That's why I said it's a 10.5-inch with a 1.5-inch barrel extension. So technically 12 inches. But that's really cool. I haven't fired it yet, so I don't know what it sounds like, but I'm thinking it's going to have a little bit of a rapport. It does use a standard charging handle. Does not have a lockback, which we'll talk about when we get to it, and it takes Glock magazines. This is a SMG or SGM tactical magazine. It's basically the aftermarket Glock mag that has the metal internals. Pro Mag makes one with all plastic, which I do not recommend. I've got a couple other mags here. This is an actual Glock mag, which I kept from my CMMG. And as you can see, works obviously, because why wouldn't it? And then, how about a Chris Vector magazine? I got bored. And this one was laying around because I'm doing a Chris Vector review. Borrowed my buddies and check that out. So they all work. So you can run pretty much anything you want in here. You could even run a 50 round drum mag if you like. Let's talk about the weight. It's a little bit heavier than the Banshee, which is fine. I don't mind a heavy firearm. It helps with my stability, with my nerve damage, and my shaking that I have, so it helps me out. Has a full length rail on top, which is really nice because I usually run a offset 45 degree and a red dot on the pistol length ARs. I'll probably do that again. Or I might run a red dot and a magnifier since I have my AR pistol and 5.56 already set up with the 45 and the red dot. I will put a angled foregrip on here and probably a light. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. SB Tactical Brace. I like these. They're very nice. They give you plenty of adjustability for length of pull. Being disabled, sometimes I actually have to get way up on the gun, so it's nice that I can move it in or out. Single-sided controls, which that is what it is. Daniel's going to go ahead and swap those out for me. I don't work on my own ARs. He does. I don't. That's fine by me. As you can see, this one has a little bit of funny going on. Please, no steppy. This was on TikTok. It got taken down after it exploded in popularity. I got like 6,000 views in 12 minutes, and then I think somebody reported me because then all of a sudden it came down. But as you can see, it says, please, no steppy, Palmetto State Armory. They're out of South Carolina. The serial number is kind of cool, little bite, 46. He's showing a serial number, guys. Get the pitchforks. Get the pitchforks. He's showing a serial number. You can't do anything with that serial number. You could file a police report saying I stole this firearm, which then causes you to be the one committing the felony, and I have paperwork. So, what's your argument? Babysnek 9. I like that. And then over here for your selector switch, you have no steppy, steppy, and tantum. This being a U.S. firearm and me not having a license to create firearms, obviously doesn't go all the way back there. But if I had a firearms manufacturing license and display license and all that stuff, I could make it fully auto. But since I don't, I can't, and I'm not going to. Previous owner added a sling attachment here to the buffer tube, which is convenient. Obviously, that makes it single point because there's nothing up here. It also has, I think that was for quick attach, but whatever, that's fine. Not sure who the manufacturer of the upper is. This is a different upper. You can tell by the color difference. It's probably harder to tell on camera, but in person it's definitely a different color. Not sure. Bear Creek makes a ton of uppers, so I'm going to assume it's probably a Bear Creek, although Bear Creek usually puts their name on it. If you know what logo that is, let me know. It says Made in USA. I don't know if the handguard was manufactured by the same company that made the upper, but it does look like it because of the way it's fit. It kind of looks like it was made by the same guy. Trigger pull, mil spec, nothing fancy. Go to steppy, obviously nothing in it. And maybe a little bit lighter, but it's also because of the way the upper is designed. This is not the same operation as the other gun was. So let's go ahead and pop her apart one more time, make sure she's clear, nothing in it. I know, it's bizarre that I like to check so much. It's almost like I take safety seriously or something. Grab a pen or a screwdriver because these are actually in here a little bit tight. And this is my gun, so if I scratch a bolt, I don't care. But the hammer has to actually be back on this one, and you'll see why. This is basically just a lower, nothing fancy to it. For those that are wondering what the Allen screws are for, it's because the design of this gun, it requires an ejector inside the magwell. And you can change that out for different ones. That's what this is for. So you can easily get that out and change it depending on what your mag is. Because you can also fit multiple mag styles in here. You can modify it. That's why it says multi. You can even chamber this in like 45 or whatever you wanted to, depending on what your upper is. So set that aside because that is bone standard. I will be changing this grip out though. I don't like that. I don't like this finger groove. I'll be changing that out for a different mag. But here's where all the differences lie in the bolt. It's not a bolt. The CMMG has a roller delay blowback or roller delay lockup system in it, more like a traditional AR-15. This guy does not. It looks like a bolt. I'm purposely covering the hole on purpose. But this is a standard charging handle. I will be changing that out for a double handle or a double-sided handle, just because I prefer a big one. Because, again, with my nerve damage, I'm a big spoon kind of guy when it comes to that. But as you can see, it looks like a bolt. However, it doesn't rotate. It's fixed in place because this gun is straight blowback. Because this is basically just a firing pin tube. It's not a bolt carrier group. This is the blowback mechanism. So it's just a firing pin group, I guess we'll call it. You can take the firing pin out the same way you would an AR-15, although it's usually up here. And again, no rotating bolt, nothing up here that moves. And it just uses a standard guide there, although this is a different shape as well because this is not a gas-operated gun. It's a blowback-operated gun. What I mean is it doesn't have a gas tube that comes into here and pushes the whole thing back. Nothing back here. This is just some weights. You can actually adjust it, or at least the CMMGs had removable weights. This one is fixed in place, but this is where you would add weight to the back to change how fast it cycles. I think you knock out that pin, you can actually take that out and change it for a heavier tube. Yes, I'm 9,000,000% confident that that's what that's for. Barrel is nothing fancy. This is actually very light without that bolt in there. I'm going to keep calling it a bolt. It does have quite an aggressive twist. Hopefully, I don't know. Yeah, you can actually see it there. When you use a white background, you can actually see stuff. But that's a very aggressive twist, and being a 10.5-inch barrel, it will allow it to get up to some higher velocity. So I want to put some super hot stuff through here. Shouldn't blow up, because this is pretty damn heavy, and that's okay construction. It should be fine, he said. Yeah, reassembly, super easy. Obviously, since I didn't take, there's not much to do. You just take your little guy here, start it in. You got to get that into a groove. Probably hard to see, but inside here, there's a groove that the charging handle fits into. Don't push it all the way in because you need to insert this like that. Again, normally this is harder because of the gas piston piece. It's not so hard when it's a simplified bolt. This is basically a 9mm Tommy gun the way it's set up. I know that sounds weird to say, but that's what it is. Put it back together. Line it up. Push your pins in. And then there you go. How much did this cost? Well, as an employee of the store, I got a discount, but it was on the shelf for $750. And that's actually a really good price because the competitors in the 9mm carbine style field, you have like the Ruger PCC, but that's a 16-inch gun. That's like $640 right now. You have the Exeter EX9, which is mostly polymer and uses same basic system, but it's not as nice because it looks cheaper. That's at about $550. Obviously, the CMMG Banshee at $1,500 for the model I had, which was the Cadillac of the Banshees. It had everything on it in terms of functionality, ambi everything, and all the bells and whistles. And then there are obviously mix and match companies. Palmetto makes a full gun. Obviously, I think it's like almost $1,000 or $1,100 for their full build. So in terms of money, it's a good deal. It's a great compromise for an AR pistol platform. I like the muzzle brake. I like the handguard. I like everything that's already done to it. There's a sling attachment right there. Yeah, so even if I'd paid $750, which I didn't, if I'd paid $750, I'd have been happy with it. I do got to take it out to the range and see how reliably it runs. And then, as one of my subscribers mentioned, he wants me to give him an opinion on what I think from the roller delay versus the straight blowback. I guarantee you that this is going to have more kick just because you have that big hunk of metal. And that's all it does, too. There's nothing back here, really. This is just... This is what absorbs everything, so we'll see what it's like. It should be fine, because it's a heavy enough gun that it should be fine. But there's definitely going to be more recoil, more rapport, more everything from this gun. So we'll see what happens. If I love it, great. If I don't, I'll let you know. I think it'll be pretty good, and I should be happy with it. Anything else that you want to know about it, leave it in the comments. I don't really know what else to tell you. It's an AR platform gun. It's a nice pistol, and I think it's definitely worth your time to get one from Palmetto, build your own, whatever the case may be. So hit up Liberty Arms, Harrisonburg, Virginia. Tell them I sent you. Again, you never know what's going to walk through the door. Half of my guns are stuff that just walked in, even my Kimber Arctic and all that other stuff. So I'm out of here. Come back for another video, and as always, I'll talk to you later.